Well, hello everybody. Drew Duran here with Drew Duran Fly Fishing, and I've had this idea in my head for a while on how to do a series of videos for YouTube on a guide's pet peeves. So these are things that clients do or that people do when they're fly fishing that just irk a guide to no end. And it's not that you can take it personal, like I'm getting mad. These are things that if you don't do them, they'll make your day a whole heck of a lot worse. And if we can correct them ahead of time, so you kind of have it in your head before you go fishing that you can practice it, it'll make your day a whole heck of a lot better. So the first thing, and I think this is the most pivotal thing about line control, about landing fish and being able to not lose fish, being able to maintain tension on fish, all of those things start with one key element to your fly fishing. And that is to have the fly line underneath your trigger finger. You see that wasp? You see how calm I was until it got next to my ear and I freaked out? So the key is to have your fly line underneath your trigger finger at all times. I don't know why people, when they're learning how to hold a rod, why they don't learn that it's just like you're holding keys, like you're going to turn keys in your house, or you're going to turn keys in your car. You want to grab the rod like this, and you want to have your index finger underneath and your thumb on top so you can apply pressure. So at all times during your fly fishing, unless you're casting or fighting a fish, this fly line needs to be under your finger. It kills me when I see people who are fishing and they're holding that line in their left hand like this. So they're fishing and they're fishing like this. And aside from not being able to have tension on the line, the biggest thing is look at how much slack there is in the system. So if you are fishing this way and you get a fish and he runs towards you, what do you need to do? You need to put this underneath your finger to be able to strip in, but they don't. They go like this and they have a fish on, and then they end up putting in their mouth, trying to move their line hand so that they can finally get the line underneath the finger and then strip the line in for tension. And by that time, 5 seconds, 10 seconds has gone by and the fish is gone. There's too much slack in the system and the fish has already spit the hook. So whenever you're fishing, as soon as after you cast, you get in the habit of pinching that line underneath your finger so that you can strip right away, maintain tension. That way when you set the hook, you're pinching this trigger finger, you're setting the hook, you're pulling the trigger, pinching that line, smack, and there's no slack in the system. You create tension right away, you come tight on the fish, and then judging on what the fish is going to do, you can strip in or you can let this line go a little bit at a time through my finger. Another thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to just let the line go like this, because I've seen a lot of times where this line gets caught underneath your vest or your pack or underneath a rock. And the fish is running, and all of a sudden it gets tight there and it breaks, or the tippet comes unbuttoned. You have all this slack working. Like if you drop your line, you don't have it underneath your finger, you have all this line working. The fish goes to run, it gets wrapped around the reel, and then the fish runs, and then when it hits that point where the line doesn't want to give anymore, it's going to break. Something's got to give, and it's going to be your line, it's going to be your knots, the hook's going to bend out. For whatever reason, people, when they're fly fishing, don't hold that line underneath their trigger finger. You want to hold it out here or just not hold it at all. It's fundamental in fly fishing when you're casting, when you're doing anything, to automatically, like second nature, learn to put that fly line underneath your trigger finger like this. That's where it should be the whole time until you get a fish on the reel, and then you can let it go to this point, or when you're ready to reel in, or when you're ready to go home for the rest of the day. Other than that, that fly line stays tucked underneath your trigger finger the entire time.